Hello everyone, Dirge Designs here. Welcome back. I thought I'd do a quick little Beastmen update. I know I have 15 projects going on at once, but that's kind of how I do it, so I won't make any excuses. I recently scored a really good deal on some Middle Hammer metal pestigores. I had bought the new plastic kit, and I had planned to buy a second one and or buy the pestigores from the Darkwater box and then make a whole unit. But randomly searching for little bits and stuff, I found a sealed box of the pestigores. So I figured instead of buying the new ones, I would just buy this and then mix them together with the new plastic pestigores. I can get that focused. Okay. I was worried about them not working together, but honestly the new ones are bloated and fat, so they would obviously be bigger anyway than the 2004-ish ones. So that didn't bother me that much. They're honestly not that much taller either. So here's one and a new one. These are work in progress, obviously. But there really isn't a huge size difference. Again, like I said, these guys are pretty bloated. So I think they'll fit in pretty nicely. So I got a whole big unit going on here. And as far as the command goes, I thought it was the box that came with the command. It wasn't. But I recently ordered like a job lot of Beastmen, and this guy was in it. I actually really like the standard bearer. I just popped that on there because with it being this way, there aren't any fabric banners that go down this way. But I thought that was a cool banner anyway. I think it's from the Chaos Space Marine kit. And then I converted a musician. I just planned to take one of the new guys and slap a bell or a gong or something in his hand, but I managed to take this using bits from the new Pestigore kit, the musician obviously, and I had a gore body lying around, so I made a little cowl for him, a distended gut. So that's the musician for the unit. I actually like his pose. I think once he's painted up, it'll look better. The green stuff kind of looks rough right now, but the good thing about Nurgle is you can have sloppy sculpting. So that's a quick little view of my Pestigore unit, which I'll run as Pestigores, obviously, but I wasn't too happy with I don't like the plastic kit. I was going to 3D print some, but then these kind of fell in my lap, so this is the direction we're going. I figure while I have you, I'll show a few other little doodads for the Beastmen army. I finally based up this guy. Any Mordheim people will recognize this as the Thing in the Woods. I've had this thing and I've had no idea what to use it for. It's kind of too small for a giant Chaos Spawn, too big for a Chaos Hound. So in the Beastmen army, this is going to be my Praeton. I've seen some like files that were cool, like Mutated Deer on Thingiverse or My Mini Factory, but I was like, I can use this guy. So he'll be my Praeton. And let's see, I've got this one. I'm going to have to zoom out for him. This guy. I think it's Bestiaire Minis that he's from. They have a really cool Beastman range. And I took advantage of the My Mini Factory sale. So he's also obviously work in progress. But I'm just trying to finish up my Beastman army before I keep continuing with other projects. It's a little more daunting than I expected. I thought I had less things to paint, but so it goes. And here's part of that job lot I spoke of. I have a lot of, for my Beastmen Gore unit, I filled it out with a lot of Battle Masters Beastmen, and their poses are like so unipose and all that I'm trying to replace some of them and bulk out the unit with more original Gores. Also, part of that lot was a few Ungors, and the Ungor box I bought I turned into archers. So with the Wild Herd Beastmen list, you have to have a mixed unit of Gores and Ungors. So I grabbed a few Ungors. So I cobbled these together. They were in pretty rough shape, but like the weapons, I have a few Chaos Marauder weapons, Orc Shield. It's a Marauder Shield. So those will fill out my Gore unit when I take some of the Battle Masters ones out. This guy was part of that lot. That's basically why I bought it, because this musician is super cool. He's very dynamic. So I got that guy. And the Ungors, I had spears left over from the Ungor kit because I built it as archers, but for some reason I cannot find it. I have so many bits and sprues. So I 3D printed these spear arms. They're from, I believe, Old Realm Forge. I bought their multi-part Beastman kit off my mini factory to make the next unit I'm going to show you. And I just use the spears from that. And if I find the other sprue, I'll use those. But this guy's made completely from those STLs. He's a little, I should have scaled him down, but he can be the champion because he has like a helmet kind of thing on. So I'm going to add those to the Gore unit so I can have a Wild Herd for that army list. And last but not least, here are my mutated Gores. I was pretty excited when I saw the Arcane Journal had this unit in it. It reminds me a lot of Morgor and how he would turn things into Chaos Spawn. And I like Morgor, so I was very excited at the opportunity to make a unit in that kind of vein. It's a mix of many things. I've run out of Gore models to mutate, so I 3D printed many of them from the, I think it's Old Realm Forge. There's like a multi-part Beastman kit. I printed a lot of the bodies and then tacked the mutations on. There's a few STLs of mutations that I scoured on the internet. I believe one was a kit for like a Frankenstein type thing. And I just printed a bunch of stuff out and went crazy with the glue. So as we can see here, we'll just point a few out. These guys are a separate model. These are by Clay Beast Creations. I picked these because they were hunched over and they had like a Slaneshi kind of vibe, because I didn't want the whole unit just to be kind of standing in one pose. We have him. He's got like a club fist, tentacle. This guy's a Cyclops head. I think that I had a mutation pack from, I think, Last Sword Miniatures it is. And they had a few different heads. One of them was a Cyclops. He's got like a big mutated hand. There's a spider guy. We have, this is a Battle Masters one with a, like a bone knife coming out of his hand. We have, let's see, this guy's cool. He's got these huge tentacles coming out. I have this, he's very Slaneshi. I think this is the musician horn from the Slanesh Demonette kit, I think. And there's some tentacles there. Here's like a Zangor type of guy. We have, you know, there's like mutations like this. Overall, it's just a fun unit to make. Resin's not fun to work with for converting because it shatters. I'm sure there's some out there that don't do that. But overall, I had a pretty fun time making this unit. I thought about adding a couple more things. I found some cool STLs of like Blood Bowl Beastmen that look like they're hunched over mutating, but this is already a huge unit, so I think we're going to stick with this. But that is the Beastmen bench update. Stick around for more Beastmen in the future.